Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences, raw conversations, one destination for it all. E360 TV.
Before you get it, baby, show me your soul. And honey, I'll show you mine. I'll show you mine. Boy, I'm standing right here holding up a sign, shamelessly displaying my state of mind. You walk right past me, pretending like you don't see what's yours for the taking tonight. Ooh, show me your soul, baby, I'll show you mine. Show me your soul. Can't you see it's way past time? How expensive do I have to be? I mean, I spell it out before you get it, baby. Show me your soul. And honey, I'll show you mine.
Well, good morning. Good morning. Welcome to today's installment of Bathrobe Moments. I'm your host, Lauren Michaels Harris, and I'm so excited to be here. It's a beautiful day here in the Chicagoland area. How are things shaping up in your neck of the woods? I think we're going to hit 70 degrees today. Woot, woot, hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. And today is the 13th day. Happy birthday to my sister, Cheryl. She is visiting family out in Phoenix. So if you're watching, happy birthday. And man, what a wonderful time to be alive. Isn't it though? It's just great. I just love it. I love it. I am behind as far as what's going on in the news. This morning I went to the health club like an hour earlier than usual. I'm trying to get her done, y'all. I have a photo shoot for a magazine cover coming up the 30th. I'm going to travel to Washington, D.C. to have this cover shoot with celebrity photographer Virginia Rose Hodges, also the host of La Dolce Vita podcast. So I'm a little nervous because, you know, I'm just keep it real. I ate my way through quarantine last year, sure did. Cooked it and ate it, every drop. Sure did. Tore it up. And now it tore me up. It ain't COVID-19. A couple months ago, it was COVID-40. 20 over here and 20 over here. Now I'm down. I think I got 7 more pounds to go. So pray for me. Send me love and light. I also was watching this morning on the treadmill. I looked up and I saw, I think they might be getting close to the services for Prince Philip over in England, who passed away at 99 just a few days back. And I also saw, maybe somebody can put something in the comments. I wonder if Sharon McQueen is here. Something about trouble in where they're having, the George Floyd, Minneapolis. Did anybody say anything about that yesterday? I don't have time for the news. I know, isn't that awful? And plus, I don't need any help being depressed. I'm just saying. The news, they always hit you with all that horrible stuff, and I find all the good stuff right here with you guys and places like Clubhouse. I'm a fly on the wall pretty much in there, except for this one particular room known as Let the Gratitude Flow. Now, I got pinged in there one day by my good friend, L. Patrick Dickerson, and have not stopped going since. There's the free thought, empowering mornings. I was going there consistently. Love it, love it, love it. Tasha and all of the gang over there. Now I split my time between the two rooms. Start with Empowered Mornings, pop over to Let the Gratitude Flow. And let me tell you, they let it flow, baby. You hear me? I mean, flow, flow, flow your boat. And I just love the people in there. As a matter of fact, if you were here yesterday, you heard a songstress bless us with a song. And Nick Keys, she was here. And I found her there and just left them, told them get over here. And if they could, support Billy McElroy, who's our guest today. Billy and I have some mutual friends. I'm going to get into that with him today that I didn't know. I know he's doing work with Certain Ministries, SERT, Pastor Rudy, and Jason Cisneros and all that group over there, helping to eradicate that horrible, horrible disease known as sex trafficking. And so I want to talk about that today. He also has an upcoming book by the working title is No Angel. Billy is an advocate for mental health awareness, child trafficking, and addiction. He is a multiple stroke survivor. I did not know. We'll talk about that. And he's blessed, he says, to be a husband and a father. Even more blessed to have found God after 2 decades of chronic alcoholism. And he says that he loves to serve. And so that's why we're here. That's why we're all here. So you know how we do it here at Bathrobe Moments, and today's no exception. I am asking you from the bottom of my heart to the tip of my soul to welcome Billy McElroy as he comes to the stage to share his story with us here today. And so pour your heart into it. Put some hearts on the screen, and let's welcome Billy McElroy II. Why? Because, oh, here he comes. Oh, yeah, Sharon McQueen. She said, yes, there's riots and such going on. Unfortunately, my dear. Oh, that's horrible. Hi, Billy. How come we don't hear you? You put those earbuds in, now we can't hear you. Wait a minute, I'm gonna back
Hold
this
on,
up.
what about now?
There you go. Yeah.
All right, okay, let me take the earbuds out.
Yeah, you're good. How are you?
Thank you for having me, Lauren. Good to see you.
Thanks for being here.
How you doing?
I'm so happy you're here. Hearing you do such a great job, all of you over there at Let the Gratitude Flow. If you guys don't have iPhones, it's a shame, and don't worry. It took me a long time before they got me to convert over to the dark side, also known as an iPhone user. I was an Android. I was determined not to do it. I did it. And I'm glad I did. I don't even remember how to work an Android now, but I love this because it gives me access to Clubhouse. Now, tell us about, I'm gonna give you the floor. Say hello to everybody. Where are you in the world? And give us just a little backstory, if you could fill in the blanks or between the lines of that short bio that I read. I'll tell everybody who Billy McElroy II is.
Well, thank you, Lauren. And I'm actually down in Galveston right now. My wife is going to the reason I thought I'd be back in Dallas. However, just because of complications, I'm still here. I'm leaving today, actually. My wife is going through, she's fighting breast cancer. So pardon the scruff on my face.
No worries.
Okay, I kind of took a vow not to shave until, she kicks this thing in the ass, so to speak. And
I feel you.
I've been assisting her while she's going through this. I have to go back. But long story short, we've been fighting this, and she's an angel of a woman, and I know she'll beat it. That's where I'm at right now.
There you go. For real. That's, manifesting, speaking things into existence, setting intentions, all of that, and prayer. I'm a firm believer, and I get it, Billy. I mean, I had a health scare last year, and really thought the upper room. I'm not kidding you, because when you're going through it, it's easy for people to say, "Oh, be strong," and this and the other, but it's a real challenge, isn't it?
Yes, it is a very real challenge, and I think the people that, because my wife Diana, people ask her, how do I say this in the right way? But very few people have ever asked how I'm doing, and it's a challenge, because I have my daughter on one hand I'm trying to get her to school, and I have my wife on the other hand that I'm having to help here. It's just been a lot on my plate, Lauren, just to be honest with you. And thank you to everybody watching, by the way, and being here. So yeah, I just a lot on my plate right now, but it's okay. God will get me through it.
Well, you know that to be true because he's done it before, hasn't he?
Yes.
So why don't you start by give us a little backstory into the you of yesteryear, and so that we can kind of get an idea and give the viewers an idea of how far you've actually come.
Well, put it this way, is that it all started when I was 18 years old. I'm going to give you the short Cliff Note version. Is that, I got pregnant when me and my girlfriend got pregnant. She was 17, I was 18. And, okay. We gave her up for adoption. All right.
The baby.
Open up. It was an open adoption. So she always knew who we would be, but, that we were her birth parents. But at the same time, God sent me a message through a dream saying, this will be the only child you ever have, and you will give her up for adoption. And I, at that point, that's where I started like really hating God, because that was my only child and has always been my only child. And he made me give her up. And even in the last minutes, my girlfriend came to me and said, we don't have to give her up. We don't have to give her up. We can keep her. And I said, no, we can't, because I had that message from God in my head. We do what's best for the child. That's his message. What's best for the child. And so after that, I descended into a world where I was very angry and resentful towards him. I wasn't a so-called atheist. I knew he was there. I just refused to look at him. And
okay, so you weren't an atheist.
I tried to convince myself I was, but really what I found out in the end was it was just my resentment towards him for making me make that decision. But I was obedient. I was obedient in that message, and I did what he said. And then I just descended, me and my girlfriend at the time, we separated in our separate ways. And I don't know if you know what it's like, if anybody know what it's like to give up a child, but it sends you into a whole world of depression. And in that world, I downward spiraled into alcohol, drugs. And now, with that being said, I still had a great career I was working at, sales industry for another company, and I became pretty wealthy for somebody as young as I was. But unfortunately, that made me a narcissist. I started becoming just a complete asshole. And during that time, over the 10 years that I went through that, which I call my downward spiral, I came to the point of just suicide. I'd run everybody out of my life because of my narcissism.
Can we talk about that? The
Sure.
narcissism? Narcissism. Did you hear me? Nutrisystem. I said narcissism. Okay, that is an official senior moment. You may log it. So anyway, the reason I find this so interesting is because you find a lot of people who talk to the point that they were in a relationship, either a family member or romantically with a narcissist. I coached a girl, Kessa Gooden, who is an expert on narcissism. That's her entire platform, because she was trapped in, that world with one for a long, long time. But I've never been able to actually talk to a narcissist or self-proclaimed one, except for you. So I'm really excited about that. So, I mean, who doesn't or hasn't known an asshole, right? Now, the thing about assholes is, is a lot of people, I can't stand that guy, he's an asshole. But I've been around a-holes that I appreciate that's who they are, because you know what you're getting. Oh, he's always like that. So I mean, you just gotta find a way around it. But let me ask you something. When did you see or understand that you were fitting the criteria of a narcissist? Did people keep calling you that? Did somebody tear it out of the dictionary and stick it, on your locker? How did you find out, and what made you accept that as who I am? Did you accept it while you were still one, or was this post narcissist?
My wife made me realize it, and she married me knowing what I was. And the thing about narcissism is, the more you get away with things, the more you keep doing them. And I could get away with about everything, in business, in relationships. Oh, well, that's just Billy. That's the way he is. That's not the way. That's not what you say to a narcissist. Because if you just say that's Billy, that's the way he is, you just deal with it. That's just going to encourage them to be a narcissist. Even it's just gonna feed that fire. And the more I can get away with, the more I'm going to do it. And it took after I got married and in my 30s, that's when it kind of came down, and my wife put me in my place. And so yeah.
So what was the main thing with you? It's almost like when people, when somebody say, well, he or she is a drunk, but there's all these categories. They're the kind of where they want to sing and be all sweet, and then there's people that get totally crazy and violent. What kind of drunk is he or she? So what kind of narcissist? Tell us. So, because is it just somebody, it's all about me? Are they just mean to people? Are they bullies, manipulators? What is it that made you a narcissist? My way or the highway?
Wasn't a bully. I wasn't mean to people, except when I was being an a-hole. But yeah, really, it was my way or the highway type thing. And that's the way I operated for a long time. And I didn't consider other people's feelings and what they wanted to do. My wife got tired of listening to my music, and she's like, I don't even know what kind of music I like anymore, because you're always playing yours. You never let me play mine. Well, I don't want to listen to your music. It brings me down. That's gaslighting right there. Okay, so I would make her feel bad about, and that's just a little thing that went on. But at the same time, she loved me, and she helped reform me into the man I am today, and realizing my faults. And don't get me wrong, Lauren, I still have my narcissistic tendencies. But
what does it feel like when you feel them pushing to the forefront? What does that feel like? Do you think like a narcissist still?
In most cases, no. I have to realize, I had to learn to respect the way that other people feel when I do certain things or when I say certain things. And sometimes I have to take time out and regroup and just think about, okay, I just said this terrible thing to Lauren that I shouldn't have said. And I need to just kind of like think it through. I have a thing that I call E plus R equals O, and that is event plus response equals outcome. Okay, whatever happened, whatever was done, your response to it is going to equal the outcome. So if I like blow up at some certain thing, whatever happens with my wife or my daughter or whatever, I have to really think about it. Like stop, pause, think about your response. And that's
what is it? Mean spirited?
It's an unintentional, mean-spirited.
Not what you say, but the way you say it.
Yes.
All sideways and ooh.
A master's psychological manipulator.
So can you recognize a narcissist or
Yeah.
narcissistic behaviors in other people? What do you do when you see that?
Leave the situation. I can't be around them. I can't be around them. Because
Wow.
inspire me to think like them, and I'm trying to fix myself. You know, so I can't engage with them. In fact, I've been in clubhouse rooms or wherever, Facebook, wherever, and I can. It takes one to know one, and when I see that, I just have to leave.
Now, what's his name? The guy from the story, Narcissus, fell in love with himself, looking at a reflection of himself in a pool in the water. So, did you love yourself? We're like, dang, Billy boy, you gotta go on. Oh, they don't know. They don't know. Is that still the case?
No, actually, I love myself absolutely 100%. But for the longest time, I hated myself. And that's what my book talks about, called No Angel. It's about my journey back to self-love and forgiveness. And when I say that I hated God for a long time, that leads into the whole reason I wrote this book. And it's coming out later this year.
Mm-hmm.
Is that God struck me down. And God struck me down. I had 2 strokes, and he made me be still. And he told me I went into a semi coma, medically induced, because my body had just given out on me. Everything was going wrong. And in that semi coma, I had 13 dreams. And in those 13 dreams, that's basically what my story is about. He sent me an angel. He sent me an angel. And angels, as you know, are messengers.
Mm-hmm.
And but he had to send me a certain kind of angel to communicate with me the way that I communicate with other people.
So you had a narcissistic angel?
Yes. Yes.
Was it oh my goodness. So oh my goodness. So you were like, are you an angel? Shut the hell up. Is that what how did it go?
Yes. And so in the 13, we had a fantastic up and down relationship. But she, and it was a she too,
Okay.
put me even more in place. I'm a woman, right?
Yeah.
Or I wouldn't be, especially in business, women and events anyway. It's just that I deal with men.
You're coming in and out.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's kind of like it has a staticky thing.
Yeah. No.
There.
Three.
Why is it doing that suddenly? You know who that is. Keep going. I rebuke you, static.
In the name. And
Oh man, this is the good part. What is something jiggly? Is there a cord or something?
cord attached.
I don't want to miss a word of this.
So just to start, the thing that was that God put an angel, and she said, you don't want to look at him and you don't want to acknowledge him. So I'm here.
Oh.
And she said, he told me that since you won't look at him anymore because of your resentment over giving your daughter away and never having another child, he thought I should show you the face of the enemy. And that's what the book's about.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
I want to know. Did you see the face?
Saw the face of the enemy.
I did too once.
Yeah.
What did it look like? Can you tell us what it looked like for you?
I'm not going to describe it because it's in the book, and it's
spoiler alert. I knew it. Oh, slip so. Okay.
Book, but I just want to say that was the truth, though. That I did not want to look at God. I did not want to pray. I did not want to do anything I know. I just couldn't accept him. I couldn't
But
accept
if you didn't like him, why'd you listen and do what he asked you to do?
because I was in a semi-coma, like I told you. God struck
No,
me
I
down.
mean about giving the baby away. I mean, is it possible that you didn't like him, but you respected him?
Yes, I respected his wishes, but at the same
Mm.
time, didn't mean I liked what he had to do. I didn't like what he had to say. I mean, I'm giving up my child here. You know, I wanted to keep the child, but God said no. And from that day forward, I did what he asked, but that doesn't mean I have to like him.
Okay, so how long did you go with this attitude? You know, talk to the hand, God.
10 years, 10 years, and then I was planning on committing suicide. I was on the corner of downtown and it was the first time I ever really thought about suicide in my life. I was suffering from a lot of pain. My career was dead ending, and I just started thinking about ways to go. And I had run off because of my narcissism. I'd run off all the people in my life, you know, and so I just kind of said, okay, let's just end this whole thing. And then my would-be wife texted me out of the blue. I'm having these thoughts in my head while she's texting me.
Yeah.
Wife, out of the blue, texted me a picture of a blimp, and it said, "Billy is awesome." And from that, and then later, to put a double whammy on that, later that night, my birth daughter contacted me via Facebook and said, "How you doing?" I hadn't talked to her in 4 years, and so at that, okay, God, I asked you to do something, you did it. Okay, thank you for that. You pay me back, and I got married. I, you know, it was very happy times for a while, but addiction and the narcissism slowly came back, and that's the enemy.
Well, that's the enemy, and I'm gonna just throw this out there because I cannot not say it. You all know that I am a huge champion of eradicating words that deceive from our vocabularies. And I just want you to consider possibly changing out when you tell the story the next time, or even later in this interview, when you say out of the blue. That sounds like all those things that you listed came arbitrarily, coincidentally, happenstance. I would prefer if you said instead of out of the blue, it came from beyond the blue.
There you go. Beyond
Okay, because it was purposeful. Clearly,
yeah.
clearly it was purposeful. Because look at
Hey,
you're telling the story, right?
It was before Lady Gaga came out with just, you know, oh, give me one good reason to stay, or whatever that song is. I mean, literally, I was asking God at that moment, give me one good reason. I need a reason, and He gave me two. He gave me two. My wife, and at that time, I hadn't heard from my daughter. I didn't know where my relationship was going with Diana, my wife. We were friends, but on Facebook. I met her off Facebook, and we just struck up a conversation after that, and everything went uphill. I mean, went right from there. And then after I moved to New York, we went. Things happened, and I had to move back to Texas ahead of her, and I had to make a lot of ends meet, and I had to go back into a business that I don't want to be a part of. But when you gotta make money, you gotta make money, right?
Mm-hmm.
And slowly, I mean, don't get me wrong, I was making a lot of money, but with all that money comes back my narcissism, comes back my ego, comes back all this stuff, and I descended back into darkness again. And I was drinking again really heavily, and you know, I did some really bad things in my relationship.
I want to ask you before we get further down the block. Do you remember there being any of this narcissistic stench, if you will, clinging to you early as a kid, or did it just pop in one day in your adult life?
Really popped in because up until the time that we had our child, I was think, and I can attest to this because I have friends that knew me from 14, 15, 16 years old that still are in touch with me and they love me, you know, unconditionally. And, but there was a sign of narcissism back then. It didn't exist until after I had my baby girl and then had to give her away. And I think at that time, I just chose to become a bad person.
So when you cut off your relationship with God, as thin as it may have been, there was still a door, a line connecting the two of you. But then you severed the line after the instruction to give up your daughter. And so you're saying that kind of just like triggered the narcissism. So it sounds like you just basically, after that, said, I don't give a damn.
Yeah, pretty much.
About anything.
I'm going to go do what I want to do. And you got what you wanted. And so I'm going to get what I want. It's exactly what I want.
So did you ever hear or feel that God was trying to persuade you to come on back and all this, and then or no? Or, you know, because, you know, you said you went to where you got to the point where you got thrown down, you know, really just slammed to the mat, and he got your attention again. Were there any subtle promptings prior to the, okay, I'm just going to have to knock your ass out to get your attention? Were there subtle? Oh, he done slapped the dog shit out of me before a couple times. Let me tell you. Huh? Right. Spit all across the room. Dang, God. You know, but that's what it took because I was hard-headed.
God knew how he had to do it that way. That's what I'm saying. That's why he sent that angel. He sent after me. He knew it was going to take knocking me the hell out in order to get me to listen, because I wasn't listening to him. I appreciate him for, you know, and you know, my wife, and I'll go further into my daughter's story here in a minute. But you know, God has a subtle way of saying things like, you just don't understand. You just need to trust me.
Right.
And so when after I had my strokes and I went through everything I went through in the hospital, you know, I was promised. I said, and God said, actually not me, actually the angel said, not God, and that you would have your wife back, because my wife was on the verge of divorcing me, and you will have your daughter back. I'm like, what? Didn't make any sense. I'm like, there's no way, you know, and you know, on top of that, you're going to give your testament via the form of this book. And you know, I said, okay. I mean, once again, that's when my trust in God started again. And when I got out and my wife wasn't divorcing me, in fact, it helped build a stronger foundation between us. Daughter out of the comes to us needing a place to live and needing help getting to college and some support. We helped her, and my health condition got better. And I'm sitting around here looking around my house, which is in Dallas, and I'm like, he's given me everything that he promised me. My wife back, my life back, my daughter back, everything. So now I have to testify. And that's my testimony, is basically that book. And so, yeah, I mean, so, and there from there, I got drug, but then my wife got breast cancer, right? So that kind of challenged me a little bit, but then Patrick.
Were you tempted to be angry again and pull the plug again?
Patrick, our mutual friend, drugged me kicking and screaming into Clubhouse, because I had divorced all social media. I was off Facebook, off everything, because I couldn't handle the negativity that was going on those social media platforms. And
this from a narcissist.
From the narcissist, because I can't go back into that space anymore. I can't.
Oh, so now it's like you're allergic to it.
Yes, you have to be allergic to it. It's the same way with alcohol. If I don't get allergic to it, then you have to treat it as you're going to die if you keep on drinking that, you know? And so, yeah, so he challenged me, but I stayed strong, and we're staying strong, and we're doing good. And my daughter's getting off to college on May 1st, and State University, and everything is just falling into line. And then Patrick, before that, Patrick invited me in the clubhouse, and I just started meeting all these great people. You know them because you've been in the rooms.
Yeah.
Gratitude every day.
Every day.
I believe if we give gratitude every day, no matter what's going on in our lives, that it makes the day better. And then I give gratitude every night. And regardless of if you don't believe in God or whatnot, when you're giving gratitude, you're giving gratitude to someone.
Yeah.
And, so that's, those people in that room helped me understand what was going on, and they supported me and prayed for me. And if you don't believe in the power of prayer, you crazy. I'm just going to say that right now.
Okay. Cray. Listen, did you ever feel or consider that, do you believe that just like you were addicted to alcohol for whatever the reasons were, do you think there was something within this narcissistic realm that you were addicted to? Was it power? What was in there that was so attractive through the eyes of a narcissist?
It was power, the ability to get away with what I want, with anything I wanted. Okay, let's take Donald Trump, for example. Okay,
Who?
I'm not getting political, but
No, I think I've heard that. Anyway, go on. I'm playing.
Look, I don't not like the guy, but I know the guy, and so is he. But that's the kind of behavior you get, is that you can get away with anything you want, and accountable. So it's just one of those things. And don't get me wrong, I'm not getting into politics. I just wanted to use him as an example.
Sure.
So, but yeah, it's just I could literally get away with anything I wanted to do.
So, Billy, did you care what people said and thought about you? A lot of people, that's a main thing. Do they like me? People want validation. It sounds like a narcissist just doesn't care. I don't care if you like me or not. Is that really how it is?
Narcissists need to be loved because they need to be loved, because that's why we find ourselves with people that are willing to love them. And they do seek validation and love, but that's mainly because they just don't love themselves.
Why do you think it is that this isn't a conversation that we have that often? Where people say, oh, I'm a narcissist, or I was a narcissist. And this is another thing. Is it once a narcissist, always a narcissist?
I think those narcissistic tendencies will always come back, just like if you were an alcoholic and you saw a drink and you quit for 2 years and you saw a drink, you're like, man, I really want that. But yeah, I think you still have your narcissistic tendencies, but being able to communicate that and accept that, okay, what I just said or what I just did was wrong with me, that I shouldn't have done it that way, and ask for forgiveness. That's the biggest thing for me, is like when my wife gets mad at me for that when I have those tendencies, I have to apologize and ask for forgiveness.
Are you able to catch yourself now?
Most of the time I can catch myself, but I still sometimes just don't catch myself. It's really hard. It's really hard. But yes, I do. And that's why I apply the formula E plus R equals O, event plus response equals outcome. So I have to think a little bit more before I respond to something, and to anybody in my relationships. And so, yeah, I mean, I guess it's one of those things you never kind of really get over, but at the same time, as long as you can be humble about it and admit it.
And that's what I was going to say. I've heard, and I believe that that's a tough thing, because a lot of, I mean, like, as if I think about this, like, are there closet narcissists, people who you could tell them, you're a narcissist? Please, me, no, I'm not. You're so are there people that are clearly narcissistic and have no clue?
You know who some of the most closet narcissists are?
Ooh.
Female.
I was lucky ain't none in here, because I was ducking, because I knew one of them was going to throw something. What do you mean by that?
Females are the most closet narcissists. Guys, I've read books on this. I've had to do my research, and females, they don't realize that they're doing what they're doing. You can talk to my sister from across the pond over in London, Gita, because we have a lot of conversations about this. And narcissist, and a reforming narcissist, I should say, because we have a lot of conversations about this. and she didn't realize that she was even doing it. So yeah, but there's a lot of female narcissists out there. Now there's both sides. I'm not trying to pick on a male or female, but female narcissists tend to not realize they're doing it more than male narcissists. Male narcissists.
Okay, like we have a friend, who when you walk into her home, there's a giant picture. I mean, giant, a whole wall practically of just her, a whole one picture. And it just strikes you. It's the first thing when you walk in, it's in the foyer and you're like,
yeah.
Dang, girl, it's so big, you almost have to back up because it should be, way over there. Now, is that a sign of something like that? That's not something most people are comfortable with. A big ass picture of themselves right there at the front door. Or, and I have a friend who has a cutout, one of those cutout things of her in her family room, sitting there like a person. And I'm like, what the world is that? Is that something that could be a sign pointing to a narcissistic line?
I put a picture of me up in the middle of my living room or right out the foyer or whatever. I don't think I even have pictures of myself in my own home anymore. I have pictures of my daughter and my wife and family.
Yeah.
But yeah, being formed from narcissism, I don't even like I probably won't even rewatch this video because I have to stay humble and just and I don't like looking at myself sometimes.
So what do you think a narcissist is really missing or seeking and wanting? What is it they really want and just don't know how to ask for it?
Seeking self-validation. And ultimately they're seeking love. They're seeking love from other people. And if I'm a narcissist and I'm like, creating all these things around me and people love me, more people love me, and suddenly it goes to my head and my ego, right? My ego starts to balloon. You got to keep the ego in check. And without that, that's where you leave. My daughter, I had a conversation with her. I said, you're so much like me. You got to keep that ego in check. But that doesn't mean you can't have ego.
Do you think a narcissist understands unconditional love since they try to control it so much?
They don't understand unconditional love. Like I can get off this call right now and people will call me and say, "Oh, Billy, you did a great job." And I'll be like, "No, it's not good enough for me." But I don't understand the support. I don't understand why people like me. I don't understand why people love me because I have that opinion about myself and I don't love myself. See, that's what I had to go through. And that's why it's the journey back to self-love, to accept myself for what I am and to understand I'm not everything for everyone. And to understand that's why I'm just on a mission in my life to serve.
So great, perfect place for this segue. So now that you're there and you understand that you're in this life to serve, what would you say is the biggest difference in your life today as far as the terminology purpose?
Terminology.
Did you feel you had purpose on the other side, on the left side of the aisle of with that narcissistic behavior? Did you feel you had purpose then?
No, when I was a narcissist, I didn't feel I had any purpose whatsoever except to just make money and make my world what I wanted it to be. And if that came at a cost for others, I didn't care.
Mm-hmm.
But I did care. People. There's different sides of that coin. But at the end of the day, it wasn't until I started serving others before myself that I was able to love myself again. And so, and get the real love I needed. I had to make my circle of friends so small.
Yeah, me too.
Out of the hospital and I was going through my addiction problems and all that stuff, I had to completely bring that circle in and only invite the people in my life that were serving me just like I would serve them.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of like where I'm at right now.
When you just said love myself again. So did you stop loving yourself when you had to make that choice to give the baby away? Yeah. When you cut God off, you really cut yourself off too.
I had to refine my connection to source. And yeah, I severed all those strings.
Okay, so
go ahead.
okay, so when you get to the point where you're having the strokes, did you ever think you were going to die? Were you afraid of death?
No. You know, they at that point I was so far gone that I was in an ambulance, and you know they were shooting IVs into me and give me shots and all this stuff, and I just said, this is the end. I didn't think about God. I didn't think about my wife. I didn't think about my daughter. I didn't think about anything. I just said, this is it.
Wait. So you hear you like, oh look, the upper room. So you see the upper room right up ahead, and you don't even think, you know, I might want to, I wonder if he'll take my call.
Nope.
Wow. So you
And,
really just you were done.
I was done. In fact, I didn't want to leave. I didn't want to come back.
Okay.
That's why
So
God. So
say that again.
God sent me that angel, though.
Yeah. So you finish up with the angel. Then what happened? How long? Take us from there. The angel's like, okay, I'll holla. I got to get out of here. I got some stuff to do. I got a couple more stops before I got to go. You're there by yourself. You come out of the semi-coma or whatever it was. What were you thinking? Did I think that was, did I imagine that? Was it the drugs? Did this really happen? Or did you just know without a shadow of a doubt, boy, that angel?
I knew. I knew. My dad knew. I think because what was going on in my outside of my body, they couldn't really understand. But because my mind was somewhere else. I was somewhere else. And there's even video of it. It's really crazy, to be honest with you. But
Crazy. It ain't crazy.
yeah,
It's about me and words that deceive. So
I tried to change my word for crazy to interesting.
we all should consistently. It's power in the word.
No, it took me a long time to comprehend, and I thought that maybe everything I just went through were hallucinations. So I should give myself time to maybe forget about them and maybe whatever. But no, I couldn't forget about them. Every single dream that happened to me, I started journaling them, and that's how the book became the book. But I remember every dream and every detail. I knew this is a story that I'm supposed to tell. And
So what can you tell us about the book? Who's it for, Billy? And what do you hope it will do for the people that find it in their hands?
I hope it finds itself in the hands to teach somebody to love themselves again. I know I've said that several times, but you know, the narcissist, if you're an atheist, if you don't believe in God, maybe this will help you understand. Because there's no reason I should be alive right now, except for God and the work that He still wants me to do. And I guess if anything else that they could get out of it, because it's really my testament about the dreams, but that you have a purpose. You have a purpose, and God's not going to let you off the hook that easy. So in my downward spiral, when I was drinking myself to death, committing slow suicide again, God didn't let me off the hook that easy. You have a purpose. I hope everybody knows that they have a purpose in life. And
do you ever wonder, Billy, why the negatives were fighting so hard to get you to do what they don't have the power to do, which is take your life from you? But they can whisper and get you to do it on their behalf. Did you ever, tell us about that turning point when it became clearer? Let's just say the cataracts of deception. Because lies are shapeshifters. The truth is the only thing in the universe that never changes and never changes on us. So when that transition took place, what did you begin to feel about how desperate those entities were working to convince you that you were worthless and had nothing to do in this world? How did you take that change of mindset and find your way into that beacon of purpose that was shining brightly and made sense clearly, just like that? Because I know it happened.
it wasn't a quick turnaround, but it was over the course of time. I just started meeting different people, new people, and even in the gratitude room and on Clubhouse, and started connecting with people from all over the world. All over the world. I barely talked to any in the United States, and I started connecting with people from Portugal, England, you know, Australia, and through, you know, mutual friends of ours, I started connecting with a lot of positive people that started guiding me on this direction of what I needed to be on. But yes, now looking back, I can see those negative forces that were trying to keep me off that path. And that's what I talk about in the book, is also that, are you on your path? God knew I was not on my path. And so he started me now to realign me and put me where I needed to be for his purpose.
So what do you consider yourself today as far as spiritualism / religion, that sort of thing? What do you call yourself today?
I would very much call myself a Christian. I still don't participate in the whole religion card thing. Just a big fan of the the religious control. But I believe I do believe, as the Bible says, when 2 or more people come together in my name, that I am there. And so just like in our gratitude room in the mornings, you know, 2 or more people come together and he's there. God flows to that room, y'all. I'm telling you that just last night, somebody started a room. Her name's Gita. She's actually the friend I have from London, one of the friends I have from London. And she started a room, and I joined her, and then we started talking. And then we were just kind of joking around, having like a friendly chat. And then this girl pops in. Her name was Yvette. And then she runs. I've been looking for Yvette. I know her a little bit, but she popped in the room, popped out. And I said, okay, hold on. Let me ping her back in the room because she has something to say. And so sure enough, she got back in the room. We brought her up. And the next thing you know, you got Pastor Ed, you got Ayana, you got Kelly, you got all these people that just start coming in the room. I didn't ping them. I said, this is why God flows through these rooms. And well, not all of them, but anyway, and we all just surrounded her in love. And I said, I don't know why she needs help, but she needs help, y'all. And it just works that way. I don't know. I don't question it. But
So let's talk about this thing, these clubhouse rooms, in particular, the one where I found you, and our friend L. Patrick Dickerson is there all the time, and a bunch of other great people. How do you feel about what do you feel would happen if you were to wake up tomorrow and there were no clubhouse anymore? What do you feel a lot of the people who have found their way to these rooms and count on that connection, what do you think would happen if Clubhouse were to just disappear overnight? What would you guys do?
It would be pretty devastating, but at the same time, I make sure to get everybody's phone numbers so I can still contact them. But yeah, you know, Clubhouse has brought together people that normally wouldn't have a conversation, and there's so many people that normally wouldn't talk to each other, and it's bringing, I believe, the racial division to a halt. Bringing it's bringing love. It's bringing love to everyone, and you know, it's hard to explain, but I think everybody needs social right now, social interaction, especially with the whole pandemic thing.
Sure, more so than ever.
And the ability to be able to hear people's voices. I work from home. Okay, I write from home. Everything I do is from home, so I don't get a lot of social interaction. I don't get a lot of. I mean, yeah, I can get on Facebook and type some messages, but really, I don't get to hear people's voices. I don't get the auditory level of like what me and you are doing right now. Even though we can see each other, we can also hear the inflection in our voices.
Right.
You know, you get people in there that are passionate about things and that need to talk, and it's always helpful to have someone to talk to when you're going through hard times, and also to understand the understanding of other people, and without everybody yelling at each other.
Billy, do you miss anything from the old version of yourself? Anything at all?
I hope I never see him again.
Oh, you meant that.
There's
So how do you harness that, what you just said? I don't ever want to see him again. How do you harness that to kind of cement the you of today in place? Do you, because I know you don't want to live in fear of looking over your shoulder like he could show up at any moment. So what would your suggestion be to a person who is dealing with something similar in their life, do you feel, is this something you have to get up and battle against every day, or is it done and all you need to do is just do what you do to maintain?
I would say that I have to remind myself every day. Like I said, when we're in that gratitude room, I say what I'm grateful for. I end the day with gratitude, with another gratitude room. I say what I'm thankful for, because no matter what's going on in my life, no matter how up here I get, I have to give gratitude to God, and I have to give gratitude to all the things that I'm proud of in my life, all the things that I'm thankful for in my life. Gratitude. That's why really, I know we have the gratitude room, but really there's so many more gratitude rooms popping up on Clubhouse.
Yeah.
So we don't consider this just a room anymore. This is a movement.
Beautifully said. Absolutely right. I believe that it is one of the most powerful forces next to true love in the universe.
Absolutely.
I really do. I really, really do. And unfortunately, I think a lot of us have been so accustomed to carelessly tossing the word around that it's not until you really need it. I know that for me to change the air in any tank, all I have to do is stay still. And I don't even have to be able to turn 360. I can just swivel my head like this and start listing things within my view that I'm thankful for. And I don't even have to move. And before you know it, the complete day would be over, because there's that many things to be grateful for. I'm just so excited that you came. We're going to have, when is the book going to be available?
Available by November. If you want to sign up, put your email address into my website.
Pre-order?
Yeah, well, you did not pre-order yet, but just to be notified.
Okay.
And you can put your email address in there, and I will notify you as soon as the book's ready.
Okay.
Should be February, should be November.
Okay.
Of next year.
So in time for the holidays.
Yes.
That's a nice move. So listen, you guys, on the screen right now is just one of the two connectors where if you'd like to continue this dialogue, the conversation with Billy McElroy II, redisreal.com is one of those. You can get over and check out everything that he's doing, including the book, No Angel, which is coming out this fall. Again, also here is at Billy McElroy 2 to find out anything about maybe you want him on your show, or just to get inside the gratitude room. Let the gratitude flow every morning, Monday through Friday, right?
Yes. No, it's every day. We do it every day.
Every day, 7 days a week. There you go. There you go. I am looking so forward to the book. Promise me you'll come back when you have the book, do a little excerpt from it. Let us help you take it to #1 status, which I have no doubt it will be. And any final thoughts? This hour is just zoomed by. We didn't even do commercials today. We didn't do any commercials today. And I'm glad, because we didn't have enough time as it was, in my opinion. So anything you'd like to say as a Jerry Springer kind of final thought to everyone?
Oh, Jerry Springer style?
That's your final thought. Give us something to go home with. Take into our day.
To be grateful for what you have. Don't take for granted the things you do have, and just love one another. I mean, really, that's all I do these days, is love on each other, and understand that everybody's going through something you know nothing about. And remember this, if I could part with this one thing, is that everything you've been through and everything you're going through is preparing you for what you asked for.
Say that one more time.
Everything you've been through, everything you're going through is preparing you for what you asked for.
There you go. I don't need to say another thing. I just want to thank you all, and you as well, Billy. I'll see you probably later today in the gratitude room. I will see you all, God willing, tomorrow morning, right out on the front porch as we do this thing again called Bathrobe Moments. Tomorrow, my guest is John Templeton. Wait until you hear what he's doing to make his difference in this world. It's going to be a great interview just like this one. If you or someone you know feel that it's their time, your time, to share your story with the world, pay attention at the end of the show and get at us. We'd love to have you here, sharing your soul, showing your soul, because we promise to show you ours. Billy McElroy, always a pleasure. Thank you so much. God bless. Get into the world today and continue being the blessing that you are.
Nothing you can do about it, sir.
That's right. I love that. You guys close all the time with that. We love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. I like that. Thank you all for joining us for today's episode. I look forward to everything that you bring tomorrow, and we'll do it all again. Get out there now and love the world the way you want to be loved. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye, Billy.
Show me your soul. Baby, I'll show you mine. Show me your soul. Honey, it's way past time. How expensive do I have to be? Need I spell it out before you get it, baby? Show me your soul. And honey, I'll show you mine. I'll show you mine. Boy, I'm standing right here holding up a sign, shamelessly displaying my state of mind.